I've been using the iPhone 14 Pro basically ever since it came out. There's been a week or two that I've used an iPhone 11 or something old like that, but the iPhone 14 Pro has basically been exclusively my main phone. This is actually the longest time I've ever used a phone without switching out to some other phone. So there's two problems that I see with this phone. The first one I'm going to say right off the bat is the Lightning port. This is a port that Apple released all the way back in 2012, over 10 years ago. There's no reason that the Lightning port should still be on the phone. I don't see a reason to have the Lightning port. USB-C is way better, and USB-C has been better since it came out because USB-C is a way newer port than Lightning by multiple years. And Lightning is slow, and in every way, USB-C is better, except for maybe the fact that USB-C is a bit bigger, but I think that USB-C should definitely be on the next iPhone. So software-wise, this phone has had so many problems, it's unbelievable. I do not think that iOS 16 is stable, even 16.5, because on 16.5 alone, I've had these three issues. One, Apple Music paused, wouldn't go further. Restarting the phone and Apple Music did not fix the issue. 2. Apple Music refused to play or download, no error message or pop-ups. 3. All media stopped playing, stuck on infinite loading on multiple platforms, on 5G and on Wi-Fi. So the annoyance here comes when my iPhone 11s have no issues, but my 14 Pro has all these issues. I don't know why, but it just seems like the stability and the optimization of the 14 Pro is absolutely horrible, and Apple just cannot seem to figure out how to optimize iOS for the 14 Pro. I don't know about the 13s or the 12s, because I haven't used those on iOS 16, but I'd assume that they're the same as the 11 at least. No issues with those, just issues with the newest iPhone, for whatever reason. But the good things about this phone really do outweigh the bad. The cameras on this phone are great. Colors look pretty good. The detail is really just great on this phone. And other features like the dynamic island are really cool. 120Hz is still great to have on an iPhone. That's something that I missed every day that I used the iPhone 11. And I think that this display itself is really good. And the fact that Apple doesn't change up the iPhone's design means that this design is basically perfected. I think that Apple is going to change the iPhone 15's design and make it a bit more rounded, and that's fine, I guess, but I do like this design. There's just a lot of grip, and it's an easy phone to handle for me. I got the 6.1-inch iPhone, of course, because I just like this size, and I don't think that there's a single thing that the 14 Pro Max has that the 14 Pro doesn't, so I just see no reason to buy that personally for my own use, and I like being able to put my phone in a pocket or carry my phone without it being too heavy. But everything that this phone has design-wise makes sense to me. This is a simple phone design-wise. It doesn't have any extra buttons or any stupid features like some Samsung phones have had in the past and still do have. One thing that I will say, though, is that this phone is very easy to pick up dust and all that stuff. I don't really take my phone out of the case that often, and it looks like, from my case, there's all sorts of dirt and dust building up around my charging port, my speakers, and the volume ringer. I don't know why this happens on the 14 specifically, but a few months ago, back when I still had my original 14 Pro, that thing just got so much dust and dirt, and when I took the case off, it was disgusting. The iPhone 12 was the first generation of its kind. It had the new flat sides design. The iPhone 13 built on top of that and made it a really refined phone. The cameras, the battery life, all that was improved in some way. The 14 Pro is the final in this design, apparently, according to rumors about the iPhone 15s, and it is really refined. And I assume that the iPhone 15s will have some problems, but they will be nice overall. And I think that the iPhone 14 is definitely a device that a lot of people will continue to use and enjoy for a few more years because these devices, especially on iOS 17, I assume, will be really nice. Of course, I'm not going to say anything yet because iOS 17 could be worse than 16, but hopefully iOS 17 will be good. So with that said, of course, I can't recommend buying a phone so late in its life cycle because this phone will be discontinued in September. And that does make sense because the iPhone 15s will come out in September, but with all that said, thank you for watching and goodbye.